Welcome, it's Craig here, and we're exploring the activated classroom teaching pedagogy of conversation. And in this video, we want to have a look at Flipgrid. Flipgrid is really great at supporting supervised conversation. Now, there are 4 different categories of conversation. Supervised conversation is conversation where there is a freedom around the content, but there is control as to how that content is discussed. So there is more focus on the conversation, but the conversation itself tends to be structured by whatever app you're using. So typically this is often implemented using forums. So in a forum, any conversation goes, it is all around conversation, but it's relatively structured in its way it's presented as compared to something like a chat room where it's totally free flow and free for all. So Flipgrid in a way is like a forum, but what makes it different and really exciting is it's about conversation using video. Conversation can take place often with text, and we've looked at some of those in this course and different ways in which you can use text to support conversation. But one fun way to get students to maybe move out of their comfort zone a little bit and start moving into one of the other pedagogies, which is pedagogy of creation, is using Flipgrid. So Flipgrid for conversation. So simply, if you want to use it, you go to flipgrid.com and you need to sign up as an educator. And once you've done that, you will be able to log in. The way Flipgrid works is basically it has what are called grids. Grids you can sort of see as almost like classrooms or spaces where the various activities are going to exist. So to start with, you want to start and create a new grid. Now, there are different types of grids that you can choose, ones that are based on your school email domain, but based around a student ID list, or if you just want to go really simple and you don't want to have pre-registered all your students, you can use the public grids. Then it's just a matter of giving your grid a name. So we can give it whatever name you like, and let's just call this Flipgrid Conversation. You will see down here, you can also choose a unique URL. Obviously, it's going to generate one for you, or if you want to have one that's a little bit more memorable, you could always put that in at the bottom here, and it'll tell you on the right if that is available. So Flipgrid Conversation is available. That's fantastic. You can choose an image that's going to be the default image for it. You can change it later. You can even upload your own. So simple as that. That is just setting up our grid. You can apply passwords. I'm going to leave all of that off at the moment. So there are a couple of other options that you can make use of. So essentially what you've done is you have set up your grid. But now what we need to do is we need to add some content to the grid, topics in the grid. So the grids now have topics. And so the moment you'll see it's just got one topic which is called ideas, which is inactive, and you can play with that. It's got one that's called let's connect. So I'm going to show you creating our own topics. Now, any of these you can, if you don't like it, you can quite easily remove that if you don't want it. So let's create a new topic. Let us call it having a Flipgrid conversation. So you just give it a title. Now, the way Flipgrid works is the students are going to submit video responses to whatever the content is that you're wishing to be discussed. So you can have a conversation, you can initiate a conversation, but what you need to do is decide how long the students are allowed in their videos. Now, I find the shorter you make it, the more students have to really think about their answers. So sometimes just keeping it 15 or 30 seconds, even a minute, forces students to really become succinct with their answers and what they are saying. You can add some optional tips. There can be dates when things are due, and then obviously here you're just going to say something about whatever the question is that you're asking them to discuss. Right, so there's a basic question. You can obviously add some formatting, etc. And once you've done that, as simple as that, you just hit create topic, and it's now creating this topic within the grid that you have previously made. So it's as simple as that. It's giving you links. Now note there are 2 links. The one link is to your grid. Now your grid can have multiple topics inside of it. So that's a generic grid that you could give students if they want to have a look at all the topics, or this is your grid just to one to the topic we've just posted. Now, you can make it a little bit more interesting than that. At the bottom, when you come in here, you'll notice that this topic has no responses. Nothing's happened. We haven't shared it obviously yet. And you can, if you want, maybe initiate it yourself with your own video or your own image or whatever it is you like. So coming back here, you'll see that there are some options. You can now record a video. You could upload a video. You could add a video from YouTube, upload an image, all sorts of wonderful things that you can do. So maybe you wanted to upload and start with your own video. So that is a possibility. You'd simply just hit record video and it's going to give you an option to do that. There I am, ready to record, and I want to give my little message to the class. So let's maybe click record. Wait a moment. And it's busy recording. Welcome everyone. Flipgrid, isn't it really exciting? Flipgrid is a way in which we can have a conversation, a video conversation. Now I know it might make some of you feel a little bit shy and awkward, but conversation is such a powerful approach to teaching and learning. And yes, getting in front of the camera is not always easy, but it forces us to sometimes have to get our thoughts and focus on them. And even if you've got multiple attempts, multiple takes on this, that's okay. So I'm looking to find out from you, how do you think you could use this tool, Flipgrid, to support conversation-based pedagogy in your classroom? So over to you to find out how you could use it. So once you've done that, you can simply pause your video. You can obviously redo it. You can add little stickies, etc. And now we hit next. It's going to allow you to review your video if you want. We're going to assume it's okay. I'm not going to bother reviewing at this moment. You can even snap a selfie. Ready? We've got to get that right. It'll pop up with some other options. If you really want to have some fun, you can add stickers, you can put hats on and do whatever you like. I mean, the sky is the limit. You want to just make it a little bit more fun for your students. And I often find if they see you having fun with what you're doing, they also start to have fun, and it brings them a little bit more out of their shell. So there we go, and I hit a submit. So now basically all it's going to do is it's going to upload that video to Flipgrid, to this grid that you've created, and obviously specifically to this topic. Video is uploaded. So that's our video. You can add all sorts of other things. You can add obviously attachments, etc. I find you don't want to really overdo it too much. And there are various other settings you can do, allowing student replies. I like to leave that on again because it encourages conversation between the students. And there's also other things as to whether you want to provide ideas, marks and that's, and performance, etc. So once you've done that, you just hit update topic, and this topic is basically ready to be ushered out into the real world. So at this point, all we've got to do is share it. And to do that, all we do is choose share topic, and there's a couple of options. There's even QR codes we can use, or quite simply, we can just copy that link and we can share it with the class. And it's as simple as that. And as students then reply, those conversations and everything they've said are going to appear inside this activity. So very nice, very simple, easy way to engage students in conversation with Flipgrid. You'll have all your grids listed, and within each grid you can have a look at what is going on with any particular one. So in this case, we created Flipgrid conversation, and there are a couple of topics, and at any stage I can pop in and say, well, how many students have responded to this one? And the moment it's just been created, but by the time you get here, there should be more responses, because guess what? I want you to get involved. I want you to post a response. To answer the question, how would you use Flipgrid in your classroom?